Hi guys, I'm Darya.
And I'm Natalie.
And we're with Onyx Select Realty. And today I asked our very good friend Ryan to join us because I want Ryan to share with all of you what a reverse mortgage is, bust and myths, and just give us a little education, because with the huge changes that happened in 2014, I feel like reverse mortgages are not talked about enough, and they're super important. It's a great tool to possibly have and something to think about when thinking of financing for parents, yourselves, anyone 62 and older. So thank you so much, Ryan, for taking the time out of your day to join us and to share your knowledge, because you're an expert in this field.
Thank you so much. Again, I'm Ryan Hoffman with Wholesale Capital Corporation. Thanks for inviting me on to share some info.
Ryan, can you start out by telling us just what a reverse mortgage is?
Certainly. To make it as simple as possible, a reverse mortgage is a regular mortgage that does not require you to make a monthly payment on it. There are a lot of creative options you can do, but the easiest thing to remember is for people who are 62 years and above, and it's owner occupied only. It can be set up as either just having no monthly payments. You can set it up as having a line of credit or access to emergency funds. You can even have it set up where it can give you a monthly income depending on how much equity you have and how old you are.
Oh, wow. Okay. So are you saying that basically the idea is someone who has a reverse mortgage has no monthly payment whatsoever?
Now, they are not required to. They can make payments towards their towards their mortgage balance, but they're not required to, correct. The only thing they do have to pay is keep up on their property taxes and pay their homeowner's insurance and an HOA bill if they live in a community that has an HOA.
Would you say that people can use a reverse mortgage to purchase a home and not just for refinance?
Yeah, so that's a common thing that people don't know about, is that you can use it to purchase a house as well. A good example of that is people who are living in a two-story house. They're having difficulties getting up and down the stairs. Great options are people who have lots of equity in their house and they're going to sell that two-story house, move into a 55 and better community, and single story. So all kinds of fun stuff you can do.
So I recently had a client who they were not planning on retirement. They purchased a home. They purchased a home late in their 50s, and early 60s came, and life happens. They had to step away from work. They needed to sell their two-story home, but the next home that they were going to buy, although they were putting down a significant amount from the equity that they had in the two-story home, they were having trouble qualifying for anything because of something called debt-to-income ratio, which with a reverse mortgage, that's not the case, right? With a reverse mortgage, there is no debt-to-income ratio. It's something that's calculated differently, and it takes away that fear of we don't qualify for as much house as we want. Right?
Correct. Now, here's the little gotcha on there, is that they do have to go through a financial assessment just to make sure they have enough income to support their property taxes and their homeowner's insurance. Now, a lot of the bad press that came up back in the day was because people, little old ladies basically weren't able to pay their property taxes and they lost their house because of a tax lien, which will happen with no matter what product. Even if you don't have a mortgage, if you don't pay your taxes, then the tax collector will come take your house. So they do have little protections in there. This thing called an ELISA, which is basically if you have enough equity in the house, the mortgage will actually pay your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance for you as well. So you don't have to have any income as long as you have enough equity. So you don't have to qualify the way you would for a traditional mortgage.
Life happens, right?
Exactly. One of the big groups that we take care of is when somebody needs a lot more in-home care, but they can't maintain their mortgage payment, and they either need to sell their house in order to move into a care facility, or they get a reverse mortgage so they can stay in the house where they want to stay. It opens up a lot of possibilities that otherwise wouldn't be there.
That's huge. One of the biggest myths I want to bust with this is that with a reverse mortgage, the bank takes your house and your kids get nothing. Can you go over that entire misconception?
Nope, that is a good question. That is by far the biggest myth. A reverse mortgage is a regular mortgage. So if you owe $100,000 and your house is worth $300,000, once you pass away, your heirs have 6 months to either pay off that house or pay off that loan, or to sell the house or whatever, and they still get that $200,000 of equity that's in there. That's theirs. They just need to pay off the balance of the loan. So it's always there. Now, there's also one really cool feature which people don't know about is called the non-recourse feature. Long story short is that if the house is worth, if the balance of the loan, for example, if your parents lived 120 years old and the economy crashes and the property values go down, let's say you owe $400,000 and the house is only worth $200,000. The rules and the insurance in the reverse mortgage say that, number one, your heirs, if they don't want the house, then they don't have to take it and there's no financial penalties to them. And number two, if they want to keep the house, then they can refinance it at 95% of whatever the appraised value is at that time if it's underwater. If the house is worth $200,000, then they only have to pay $190,000 of that mortgage off. And even though the balance is $400,000, the insurance covers the rest of it. So they can keep the house if they want it, but they don't have to take it if they don't want it.
So nobody's credit is affected like it would during a short sale or some other financial recourse that you normally would see with a conventional loan.
Correct.
Wow, that's huge. I feel like that would settle so many concerns.
And a lot of the changes that happened in 2014 are there to protect the homeowners. So like the counseling, for example, and all these other things that go on is to make sure that people who are in their later years are not being taken advantage of. So Darya, are there any, what are the communities that you know of around the area? And do you know of any of the benefits or perks that come along with those communities?
Absolutely. I actually feel like there are so many of these 55 and over communities that are popping up everywhere. Natomas, El Dorado Hills has 55 and over community called the Seasons, but it also has 3 other communities that are being built right now. Folsom Ranch, and obviously, Roseville, Rockland, and they have beautiful facilities, beautiful racket, ball, tennis courts, pools, lap pools, indoor pools. You have golf. I mean, these communities are truly beautiful with wide open floor plans, large windows. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of them? And in most of them, only one spouse has to be 55 and over. And for a reverse mortgage, if only one spouse needs to be 62 and older, right?
Correct.
So there's definitely so much opportunity to own new and get into these communities and just enjoy life more. Quit the stairs, quit the remodeling, quit the stairs.
Then if you really want to, you can be one of those ladies who gets to cruise around the neighborhood in your golf cart.
Yes. Invite your favorite realtors because your favorite realtors will be right there on your golf cart with you. I would be all about that life. Yeah, these communities are really fun and they're really great. Great. I really hope more realtors take the time to educate themselves on these options because I know the subject comes up and I know that we want to be realtors for life. So we want to take care of our first-time buyers and their parents and their relatives. So this is huge. Ryan, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to answer these questions, give some insight. And if you are at all interested in learning more, or you would like to work with a great loan officer who's here, who's local, will take the time to go and explain in depth the process and everything that the reverse mortgages entails. It's not a harder process than a conventional loan. Please call Ryan. We'll link all of his information. And yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. And of course, if you are a homeowner or you are the kids of a homeowner who wants to consider if a reverse mortgage might make sense for them so they can actually move from the house they're in into a community that's a better fit for them, give Natalie and Darya a call and then we'll get connected up and I'll see if I can help as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you guys.